basically keeps score of all these years of the trauma, the stresses that we don't always deal with, where you're switching off and not really having time to deal with all those issues because you don't have the time. You're too busy raising a family, too busy building your career, too busy paying the bills, etc. Become like a functional freeze type of living. One of the biggest things that my patients and my clients will discuss with me when they come and see me for their health assessment, and the biggest one is fatigue, where they find that they are just not coping anymore. They have this complete high levels of anxiety. Their nervous system seems to be wired. They're just feeling that they're not coping anymore. And this is something that I can identify with on a professional as well as on a personal level. Now, over the years, I've experienced myself abusive relationships, toxic relationships, a couple of divorces, the emotional stress, financial pressure, being a single mother, losing a parent. I went through cancer myself. Rebuilding your career, reinventing yourself, grief, abandonment, loss. What happens is this doesn't just affect the hormones, it infects the entire system. So many women for decades are dealing with a nervous system overload, emotional survival, overworking, people pleasing, that chronic stress, and that grief, as well as systemic inflammation in the body. And of course, the pure exhaustion. My name is Tania Sutherland, and I use quantum diagnostic science technology sort of feedback to do a biological analysis. And I'm bridging thousands of years of ancient herbal wisdom together to find the root causes. Eventually, the body will start speaking to you through symptoms. In some cases, it will start shouting. Now, 90% of the women are struggling with fatigue, burnout, anxiety, serious inflammation, whether it's the gut, whether it's in the body, stubborn weight gain, that brain fog, cravings that has eaten a big meal and that they're hungry afterwards, hormonal chaos, and of course, they actually feel so disconnected with themselves. And so you kind of ask, what is wrong with me? And you feel so alone. Now, the body's simply just surviving far too long. It's been in that survival mode. And this is when women will spend years with the overgiving, that suppressing their emotions, staying in stressful, toxic relationships as well as jobs, carrying financial pressure, constantly pushing, overworking, the people-pleasing, caregiving, or living in such an emotional stress. And you kind of think it's just normal, but the body is telling you it is too much. The nervous system starts to adapt the survival mode. And really, what is happening on the biological side of the body? So this is where your nervous system, your hormones, the inflammation, and metabolism are becoming connected. Because your chronic stress affects the hypothalamus, because that picks up the stresses. Then it sends out hormones to the pituitary. The pituitary sends a message to the adrenal glands to say we're under fight or flight. And the body will start releasing more cortisol. This is called the HPA-Axis, the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis. They're all connected. And then cortisol becomes dysregulated. Inflammation in the body increases, especially like inflammation in the gut and lots of other areas. And then, of course, your histamine can also start to increase. Blood sugar becomes unstable. Your sleep becomes totally disrupted. And your body becomes more reactive and more sensitive. And then your hormonal symptoms start to become more intensified, especially during perimenopause and menopause. And this is where my clients and my patients say, oh gosh, perimenopause is so tough, or menopause. You've got to realize that, why is it so tough? What is happening in the body? How much systemic inflammation? How high is the nervous system? Is it so overwhelmed? What's happening that you haven't dealt with? Because your body is reaching an age now where it's telling you something has to change. And this is why so many women are experiencing that weight gain, that belly weight gain. Suddenly they're becoming more anxious, struggling with anxiety, which maybe they never did before. Even forms of ADD, ADHD, cognitive dysfunction, and memory loss. They wake up at 3 a.m. and they're completely wide awake, they're racing thoughts. Now, then of course the fatigue, but feeling wired. I even start developing something called task paralysis, which I will speak about in maybe another video. Just having so many decisions and a long to-do list the brain will actually say that already is far too stressful, and you get this task paralysis where you're struggling to focus, you're struggling to find those solutions, your creativity has come to a halt, and you're thinking, what's happening to me? Your body is not trying to punish you, it is trying to protect you, but also at the same time, it's trying to talk to you. And this will be the weight connection. So one of the biggest things I wish women would understand from this is that weight resistance, you can't lose that weight, it's not because of lack of discipline and more willpower to exercise and to watch the calories. The body feels chronically unsafe. It is under exhaustion, high inflammation, and it's stressed. And therefore, it struggles to lose the weight, it rather holds on. Now, because of the survival psychology, this will change your metabolism. That's why the body would rather prioritize to protect it than to lose the actual weight. And this is why this harsh dieting, over-exercising, punishing yourself, and this constantly forcing the body will only backfire. So the body needs the support. It needs nourishment, the correct nutritional foods. The gut's got to be healthy to absorb it, and the organs need to be cleared to absorb the nutrients, to flush out the excess toxins, the excess hormones. Now, the healing message is, it's not only about food and supplements, it is about how do you regulate your nervous system, that your nervous system feels safe, emotional healing, the boundaries that you're going to be setting, and to slow down from that huge to-do list and not being able to sit down and just relax. The self-worth, to rest, nourishment, reducing the inflammation and all those burdens on the body. Learning to stop abandoning yourself. Women have been taught to keep pushing through exhaustion. It's like that's the admission you pay for success. You ignore the chronic fatigue. This is why I do what I do, and I love what I do. I look to see what's happening in the body. Modern science, quantum physics, as well as merging thousands of years of ancient herbal wisdom to heal the body. I look at the root causes because we need to heal from the bottom what is really happening. These are just your symptoms that I'm talking about. What are the root causes? What's affecting the nervous system and the inflammation? And then your metabolism is developed into metabolic syndrome where it's stuck. Now, through my consultations, my programs, my detox programs, it's about helping you to feel supported and understood. It's because your body is exhausted and is trying to talk to you. So if you're feeling exhausted and emotionally overwhelmed, that inflammation in the body, whether it's even endometriosis, fibromyalgia, these are all symptoms the body is taking far too much stress. And also the weight gain, fatigue, hormonal imbalance, you're feeling disconnected. So please, if your body is talking to you, you are not weak and you're not alone.